Welcome to Taco Talk.
I, of course, am Carson Kennedy, co-writer, co-producer, co-host, creative genius.
Oh, that's debatable. I, of course, am Aiden Fletcher. And I'm gonna apologize in advance for my nasally sounding voice. I am like maximum level sickness right now. Like you don't even know. Like
You don't even know.
like Carson was sick last time.
episode, I was, when we started off the podcast, I was fine. But if you listen back to it, as we went on, I started sniffling a lot more.
Yeah.
And then right towards the end, my nose started running. And I was like, oh no.
I'm telling. Later that day, he was out cold. He laid down and was like, I can't take it anymore. It was crazy. You know, I just think Satan's getting at us. We're doing God's work right now, Carson.
When you're doing God's work, you're gonna have opposition, all right? Okay, and that's what this is.
Yeah, this is God's work.
That's what I'm talking about.
So, this episode, we thought we'd do something that hits close to home, right next to our hearts. We're gonna be talking about our failed projects throughout the years, and let me tell you, there's a lot of them. Just failed projects. Our antics are, you know.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, let's talk taco.
But before we get kicked off, I got a few. I'm gonna get sentimental here. Got a few things I want to say.
Give us these feels, Carson.
All of y'all who smashed that like button last episode.
There were so many of you.
You are legends. Okay, let's just talk about that now. You are legends.
Yeah, for the over 42 people for our YouTube podcast debut
the premiere.
Yeah, our like to view ratio is stellar right now. Like we have over 25% of viewers liking our stuff.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm so happy. I'm so grateful for the positive reception that first video had.
'Cause
like we gained like over 50 subscribers, right? Like we were joking during the podcast, like we're at 11 right now. Let's hope we get to, fingers crossed we get to 12. We're like at 52. Okay? Yeah. Plus 40.
So basically, just keep up the good work. Share this with your friends, who'd be interested in this. And another thing, for the select few people who, kind of put this on their social media for the little bit of free advertising.
Gave us a shout out on their socials.
Thank you so much.
Oh.
So very much? That's the word.
Yeah, so very much. I mean, it touched our hearts.
Like I actually
the positive reception. We had people come up in the hallway. People I never would have expected to watch our podcast came up and were like, "Hey, props on that podcast."
Yeah, you know what? So we're gonna keep up the good work. You guys keep up the good work, and you know what? Let's just get into it.
Yeah, let's talk taco. Hey,
that's what.
Beautiful.
That was the team chemistry we were looking at. So. Okay, we're going to set the stage. You got me and Fletch. How old are we around this time? Fourth grade.
Like, I'm youngest. I'm one of the youngest in our grade. I'm August 31st, 2003.
One more day, he's in the grade below us.
Literally. Actually, school used to start on my birthday. So, I mean, we're back in 4th, 5th grade. That's when we first met. Right, he was good friends with another one of our good friends, Jonathan Wetzel. We were in different classes.
What a guy! Yeah, because back then your friendships really depended on who's in class with you, because you didn't really rotate classes like you do in the big boy schools. Now you were in one room the whole day, and the people in those rooms were your friends.
Yeah,
even people you're not necessarily
friends with. You're at least acquaintances, right?
Yeah,
that's how elementary is.
Fletcher and I. We never had the luck of being placed in the same room.
I mean, we can only imagine.
Imagine what have happened.
Exactly. It's sad to me. It pains me to think what artistic genius was lost in those few years we didn't know each other.
We could have started this podcast 7 years earlier.
Exactly.
Guys. Think about that.
Can you imagine 7 years worth of taco talk? We'd be multimillionaires. We'd probably be
let's
be honest.
We'd probably be rating sticks and stuff though, dumb stuff. Yeah. I found this stick. I think it's pretty cool. You can see this little twig coming off it. Because I was really into sticks as a kid.
Really into sticks. I remember my main thing during recess back in the day. So there was this hole in the back of the school, right? And so I and a few friends were like, this is an abandoned mine shaft. This hole is like the size of my fist.
Oh, yeah.
So then we get like some sticks, some
This is
stones.
the
We
gold
start
mine.
digging that hole, and it kept getting filled in by janitors. That's what my recess time was spent on. Literally digging a hole. Literally digging a hole.
So like you're digging janitor's filler in. It's kind of like at a restaurant where you try to finish your entire water before the guy comes by and refills it.
Exactly.
I do that all the time.
And let me tell you,
I've only completed it a couple times. That's still the challenge.
Let me tell you, I finished that water multiple times before the janitor filled. I mean, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. I got what you're saying. So
Okay.
anyway.
We're off topic. I mean, that's what this podcast is all about, though, isn't it?
You can't expect us to stay on topic, really. But anyway, so we're kids.
Is there even a topic?
We're young, we're dumb. There is a topic. So the one thing that really attracted us, and we're still really into now, is comic books.
Comic books.
You already know.
It's a building block of our relationship, our comic books.
One could say the comic book is nothing more than screenshots of a movie cut up into small panels and printed on paper.
Oh, so eloquently
one could say that.
One could say that.
But
why would one really?
Would one?
Yes, I'd say no. I'd say a comic book. It's just such artistry. Like, I mean, comic books are a big part of my life. They always have been. They always will be. And
one look into his bedroom, you will know.
I have more comic books than I can count.
More comic books than friends.
Oh, hey, I thought we were talking taco, not throwing punches here, Carson.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so let's get down to the nitty gritty here. Okay, so back in 5th grade, that's when our friendship really
took flight.
Exactly. Yeah. So and it focused around one thing, a comic company, if you will. Called Random Comedy News, or RCN. This was started by Joey Spicer, was it? I was not there for the advent.
I do believe it was. He was the mastermind. Now, this
Props
company...
to Joey Spicer.
This company, did it have clients? No. Did it have,
income?
Revenue?
No.
Not avenue. Whoa. Did it have a venue? No.
No. Did it have taxes? Also no. We evaded it.
Also no, because we are geniuses. But... what it did have, it had a lot of spirit.
It had heart, okay, guys? It had heart.
So it started off with a few humble 4th graders?
Yeah, no, fifth.
No,
we were 5th grade.
For sure.
Started
Definitely
in lunch.
middle
I remember vividly. I walked into lunch. Jonathan Wetzel, Joey Spicer was sitting at the table. Jonathan was around, and you were there too. And you were writing something. I was like, "What is this?" And Jonathan's like, "Okay, so Joey had this idea. What if we made comics, right?" And so I was instantly attracted to it. Now I'm a guy that ever since I was a really little kid, I've always been into business. Okay, let me get a little. Let's get a little sidetracked. My first business I ever ran. Okay, I mean I'm still a businessman today. I haven't
my word.
I'm gonna give a shameless shout out to my eBay store. No, I'm not. So my in second grade.
Shameful. It is shameful.
Second grade, right? I started out with my first business. I would take 2 Crayola markers, right? And I would touch the tips together and make a new color, right? And so my teacher, I don't want to give too many names during this because I mean something on YouTube, you know what I'm saying. But like so my teacher, she had this money system, right?
Oh yeah.
So she had the plastic fake money you can get at the dollar store. She would buy that. And if you did something good, like
remarkable,
if you
groundbreaking,
if you did a good deed, you'd get like a quarter or a fake dollar. But the thing is, there were no restrictions, and I'm sure this was put in place after I left. There were no restrictions on giving people these dollars. So I would charge $5 for every marker. The markers weren't even mine, people. I was making 100%.
He was hustling the school.
Exactly.
Oh my word.
And you know what I used it to buy? My first Garfield comic, right? It was one of those big old Garfield fat books. Yeah.
I would rob a bank for one of those books. That's what I'm talking about.
Exactly. So let's get back to RCN.
Yeah. So RCN, the whole setup, punchline, and overall joke of this was it was a panel and it said breaking news, as if
Yeah.
it was like a live news report.
Every single top of the panel, it was required. It was company standard had to say breaking news.
So like one that I thought was comedy gold was breaking news. Timmy falls in well.
That was the first.
That's
what
the
I was.
Stuff I thought was hilarious.
That's what I was thinking when you were saying random comedy news. The first thing that comes to mind is breaking news. Timmy falls down the well, and then at the bottom he's like, "Oh darn!" It was comedy,
and then
genius. And like, listen, it didn't even have to be quote unquote funny. It was just random. Like they were just random things. Like, I mean, then we have the classics like breaking news, yo mama fat. Like they were classics.
Like seriously, like. We thought we were sticking it to the man. We were saying a message that the world didn't want to hear, you know?
Uh-huh. Yeah, we were talking about those hard-hitting topics.
But unfortunately, with RCN, as all great things do, it fell apart.
Yeah.
After a vicious civil war.
The 55th issue. Now listen, us making these comics, RCN, it inspired a certain hostility with our peers. They thought it was... Like, there were a few, like, I'm not saying this was a class-wide thing. This was a very niche thing. But, this was nobody knew about RCN. You could ask anyone, nobody will remember RCN except, like, a few people.
Except basically us.
But, so, there were a few other people. I want to say 3 other people. And they decided to either split from RCN over creative differences, or just they saw RCN and copied it. So there was a dumb comedy.
There were so many copycats.
There was a dumb comedy news. There was a stupid comedy news, and they were bad. They were really bad. And
I'm pretty sure one of the spin-offs was like comedy random news.
Comedy random. Now that's creative,
like
right?
CRN, there. Like literally, you know. Now listen here. How about we take the first word of the title?
Yeah.
We switch it with the second word of the title. New brand.
Brilliant. I'm gonna give you $1 million for this startup. Now,
and the thing is, we weren't making money, okay?
Well, I think
there was no way to really gauge success.
Now listen, I remember we did sell one, and you know who bought the one copy? I did. I was the first buyer of RCN.
My word.
I was the only buyer of RCN.
If you think about it, you're the only one who's put money into the company. So you're the primary stockholder.
Exactly.
Fletch,
I
you are the
own
president.
RCN. Now listen, I walked over. Remember, I walked over to the lunch table. I'm like, "What are you making?" They're like, "RCN." It was the first issue, penned by the man, the myth, the legend, Carson Kennedy.
Bang!
And I thought it was beautiful, and on the cover, it said price 1 cent.
1 cent.
You know what I did? I whipped a penny out of my pocket.
One Lincoln.
And bought that sucker where it stood.
I am 1 cent richer.
And you know where it is? It's at my house right now. I want to frame it. I think it deserves to be framed.
Yeah.
It's such a masterpiece.
So kids are dramatic, you know. They like to think of their little kid things as big boy adult things. So
yeah,
I think it must have been Fletch who decided, you know what? This Civil War isn't decisive enough. You know?
Yeah,
it's not divisive enough. We need political parties.
What else? So not only was RCN, the Random Comedy News, not only was it a company, it was a country. It had its own flag. It had its own judicial system. It had its own government. Okay, had them legislative branches. Okay, we had 2 political parties.
Oh my word!
We had the Rubs. And we had the Scrubs. I mean, I personally was a scrub. I don't know about you. I doubt you can remember, but I wrote it down. I remember. I said,
yeah. I was amazed last time I was at Fletcher's house.
Yeah.
Because I walked into his bedroom. He was like, "Hey, I gotta show you something."
Yeah, I had to bring up these memories.
Under the depths of his bed or like desk or something, he has like a file folder.
I have a file folder.
And it's filled with comics. It's filled with the aforementioned legislative papers.
Exactly. It is filled with every paper I could collect related to these comic
It had
companies.
the entire history of
I wrote
the schism between the Rubs and the Scrubs.
I took a big piece of paper. I took it from an art room, like Mrs. Ladd's art room, right? And I wrote at the top, "The history and interworkings of RCN."
You cannot make this stuff up.
Yeah, we had an actual flag. I still have the flag. I mean,
oh my word.
Yeah, and just some of the fondest memories I have of middle school are RCN, without a doubt. I mean, best years of our life.
Yeah. So, fast forward 2 years, okay?
Yeah.
You think we've matured?
You think we're done making comics?
Done making comics? Are you kidding me?
Like, do you know who we are? This is Aiden Fletcher and Carson Kennedy we're talking about here.
One day, we're walking down. We're going down to the wood shop.
Yeah.
Where it be?
Yeah, where Mr.
Shout out to
Irway.
Mr. Irway.
Represent Mr. Irway.
He supported all of our projects, even though we never had anything to show for them.
No.
But
Mr. Irway,
if Mr. Irway could see us now.
I'll say it right now. Mr. Irway, I think, was the best teacher I've
Inspiration.
Like, he was amazing. I think I owe him like $200 worth of
you definitely owe him
worth of supplies. I mean, if you
think that's
Mr.
an
Irway, I would be
exaggeration?
happy to pay you back at this point for all the good you've done us.
Listeners.
He bought us so much equipment. Like, it's amazing. Mr. Irway, he again enabled us to grow so much creatively.
That's not even.
We owe it to Mr.
You
Irway.
think he's exaggerating? Literally triple digits amount of money that Fletch owes him. Like, that's not a joke.
You still owe him like 25, I'm pretty sure. You had to buy something to make a YouTube video you never even did. I know that for a fact. It was a microphone. That's what it was. It was a microphone.
The Slovakian microphone.
Yes. And it never worked. It never worked. It
did not work.
Yeah. No. $25 down the drain.
That was a heartbreak.
But now let's get into what, I mean, I've made many things in Mr. Irway's. I made a sled, stuff like that, but that's not what we're talking about here.
He made Thor's hammer. I made
Thor's hammer using a beam from a barn from 1830, right? I used that to make Thor's hammer.
Yeah.
I still have that too. But that's not what we're here for, ladies and gents. That's not what we're here for, gringos. We're here to talk about the comic we attempted to make, and he was all for this.
Yeah.
The comic's name?
I was all for it.
The Ghost.
We're 7th graders. We're like, okay, we've moved
Set the
past
scene,
this
Carson.
random comedy news cheese. Okay,
We want to
make something edgy,
something mature.
Yeah, still wasn't gonna be that mature.
Something that'll
but that's
knock
what we thought.
your socks off.
So
something that'll make you wet the 7th grade bed.
We need to get one of the edgiest people we know, an 8th grader.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shout out to
Carter
Wilcox.
Good friend.
Yeah, good friend who has his own theme song. I've forgotten it throughout the years. We are not going to attempt to sing it. We do not want to butcher his theme song.
I remember it, but I will not attempt it.
But just know that he has one.
That's very important to me that you know that he has
Carter
one.
Wilcox has a theme song.
Anyway, so he was like, yeah, I love this idea. You know what? I'm a good drawer. I'm a good artist. I was like, yeah, I've seen you draw. And he was like, I will illustrate it for you. Okay, and Fletch is like, you know what? I can illustrate some too. I was like, okay.
So we'll just
I suck at drawing.
Now, what ended up happening? We didn't make much. We bought all the supplies. We bought some pens. We bought the pens.
We didn't buy like the $5 pens.
No, we bought
like
$30 pens.
No, we bought like the $310 Supreme pens.
So listen, one of the things I bought a bottle of ink. Fine indigo ink, right?
Oh.
Indigo, the best ink.
Only the best.
And if you buy ink, you better have a brush. I bought a brush
you already know.
I bought a brush it's technically illegal to buy and sell in the US. I had to order it from the UK, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, fine horsehair brush. I'm not sure if I still have it. He was like, once you pay me for it, it's yours. I never paid him for it. And
so it's his.
It's
if
still,
you think about it.
It's still all at my house.
Okay.
I feel awful.
So the premise of the Ghost. I can't draw, so I was kind of the storyline, the storyboard guy. Premise of the Ghost.
Yeah.
Like his wife died or
no.
something
So
happened?
this
something sad happened.
I remember it. Okay. Now, I love, my favorite superhero is Daredevil, right? Mm-hmm. So really, this is it's kind of a cheap knockoff of the...
Not really.
But, so this is what happened. The panels I illustrate, I remember vividly. I had to redo these panels a good 20 times. Mm-hmm. So, his dad, he owns an auto shop. And for some reason, some gangster kills him.
Yeah,
and the little ghost, he walks in and he's like, Dad, and the dad's dead. And so that inspires him to later in life
fight
become
crime.
the ghost.
No.
But the ghost, he has to have a reason to be called the ghost. I mean, he's the ghost.
So I'm still proud that my little 7th grade brain, concocted this idea.
Yeah,
but
genius.
What is
genius
the ghost power? He has a device, okay, that lets him phase in and out of matter. Like, looking back, I realize it's basically what the Vision and the Martian Manhunter power is.
I mean, we kind of stole from a lot of comic books. But
like,
what can you expect from a 7th grader?
There was like a little cool thing. Oh, wait. Now I'm realizing we kind of ripped off Danny Phantom a lot, because when he would phase into matter, he had like a little trail.
It's Danny Phantom.
It's Danny Phantom,
but it's Danny Phantom, but it's edgy.
And he had kind of like a white and black mask, which now I'm realizing was kind of ripped off from like Rorschach from Watchmen.
Yeah, and not only that, but much like Rorschach from Watchmen, he also wore a suit.
Yeah,
he wore his suit too. Favorite part of the thing.
It may not have been as good as an idea as I thought, but.
Still a classic.
We laid out the entire storyboard, got all the panels ready for the first issue.
Yeah.
And I remember
on the cover of the issue, we see a ghost. I mean, the ghost standing in his all black suit, completely white mask, standing in a white black background, and in his suit pocket, he has a white rose, and on that white rose, a single drip of blood. Edgy, so mature. Oh. You don't even know. And do you want to know how much of this we wrote? We wrote 1 page, baby.
Boom.
1 page.
Now, at that point, that was a record.
Really,
as far as projects
again,
go?
As we said in the first episode, this is the first project we've actually completely followed through. We've had so many ideas. We've tried so many things, all never coming to fruition.
Yeah, we aim high, but we jump pathetically.
Yeah, you're
There's
right.
a way to put that.
So we have big dreams that always fall short. Mm-hmm. Not with Taco Top. This
Taco Top.
We followed through.
We will keep following through as long as you guys smash that like button.
Like and subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe. Hit that notification bell.
Yeah.
The little
this
bell.
Is another shameless act of self-promotion right here. Let's continue on. Okay. So after the ghost, right?
Yeah. This is not Fletch's first attempt at making some sort of media type deal.
Some sort of website.
Let me take you back.
Yeah, I'll let Carson. Though this one was a solely my project. Yeah, I'll let Carson take the reins on this.
Memories about it.
Yes.
Okay. So our other creative entrepreneur teacher was our computer teacher, Mrs. Rout. Now she taught us how to make websites. Websites, okay? Fletch was like, you know what? I'm going to make a news/blog/entertainment website.
Yes.
/social media website.
Exactly.
And what is it called?
It's called Fletch Space.
Yeah, oh my word, he has it up.
I just pulled it up on my computer right now. I'll
give me the URL. I forgot it.
I'm going to 100% put a link to it in the description of this video. I'm going to give it a shout out.
Give it some love.
Fletch Space is fletchspace.weebly.com. WEEBLY.com.
Oh.
Yeah, it's still on there. Fletch Space with the blog, updates, Fletch's forum, you know.
Now Fletch tried to make it look really reputable, so he put like a picture of what is that? The Capitol building?
Yeah,
like
the Capitol building at night. It's beautiful. About the maker. Fletch Space is brought to you by yours truly. ... Fletch.
We are reading this right off the website.
Straight from September 2015, ladies and gentlemen.
He had a segment called Weekly Thinker.
The Weekly Thinker. It was deep. It was amazing.
Let me read you the latest edition, which is 2 years old, 2.5 years old.
2 years old. January 14th, 2016.
Oh wait, no. Never mind.
Let's read it to you. This again was meant to be super like deep. Like
and I will pull up the comments.
It was hard hitting news, everyone. Okay, do teens spend too much time in front of a screen? Studies show that children spend large amounts of time in front of a phone or computer that can experience large amounts of depression. Really? Too much screen time has also been linked to cancer. Cancer! Say it again, Carson. So, what do you think? To screen or not to screen? That is the question.
So, Fletch, he was really feeling good about himself after this. But this is where I had my fun. there's a comment section, and you
Yeah,
could go
always
in,
a comment
and
section.
you could set your name as anything.
Uh-huh.
So we would make, me and my other friends, we would make up cryptic nicknames, and we would just bash on this website. And Fletch, he didn't know who was doing it, and he would be running around like, "Are you Napoleon is awesome?"
That's
we knew
Simon.
who
That's
that was.
Simon Messinio. There was one person that every single comment in Fletch Space always left something cryptic and weird, and that is Awesome God Rocks. Yeah, that's one thing I always remember.
I now know who this is.
Who is it? Drop it on me.
Wait, you don't know?
I don't know who Awesome God Rocks is. I've never known after all these years. Who is it?
I can't tell you.
Oh my God, no.
You guys gotta wait till the end of the episode. No, actually, it's not that big of a build-up. It was Sarah Mosier.
It was Sarah Mosier?
The whole time.
The whole time. I remember that
You
was
wanna know
her...
how I learned it?
How?
That's her Roblox username.
Oh, you're dropping bombs
But anyway,
on me, Carson.
My name was Greasy Eagle.
Greasy Eagle.
And I said that was the cheesiest outro for a question I've heard, referring to screen or not to screen. Billy Bob Frickin' Joe says,
I imagine that was Jonathan.
With an I. It was definitely Jonathan.
Boy.
Awesome God Rocks. Just ripping into this. Said,
Petition
to delete Fletch Space.
Oh, ripping into me.
Boom.
Here. Oh.
Okay. This is too good. We're going to spend a lot of time here.
Yeah. But I definitely, Fletch Space, it was
Sign up for the Fletch Space newsletter.
Yeah, you better sign up.
That is what I'm finding.
Yeah.
I
remember
right
I
here.
took this to the Pennsylvania Computer Fair.
Dang.
It lost. Actually, it lost to Jonathan Wetzel's website about Greek gods. I was devastated. I was like, wait, what? Yeah. Now, Fletch Space, it revolutionized, I think, how we expressed ourselves creatively. We wanted to be more reputable in how we did things. So we started investing in equipment, right? We bought a camera. I bought some nice recording stuff. That's what we're recording this on now. We wanted to be like we wanted our stuff to sound good, to look good, to feel like it was reputable. I mean, so our next thing, obviously, that we had to move to was movies. I mean...
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
And, okay, I have one more thing to say about Fletch Space. He has hooked up a direct link to CNN, and it has a bunch of little URL hyperlinks to news stories. And I don't know what you did. Like, it searches for recent news stories.
Uh-huh.
And you must have put in, like, keyword tragedy. Because these are depressing. Like, these are not happy
Honestly,
news.
I think Fletch Space in general was depressing. It kind of died after,
like a month?
A month, you're right. So, let's get back into Talkin' Taco. We have our movie career. Now, this is something we have always tried to kick off, to jumpstart.
Of course.
That's why I bought my first camera, really, that I bought, was to make movies. And so our first idea was to make an edgy psychological thriller.
You already know, okay? Now, we had the location all picked out. We kind of wanted to make it a first-person film.
Yeah.
Like, what's it called?
A found footage film.
Found footage film.
Found footage, yeah.
And if you guys aren't familiar, found footage is when there's only one camera throughout the whole thing, and it's like a recorder. Like, the characters are interacting with the camera.
Yeah, like it's not like a like it's someone taking a home video, really.
Yeah.
Now, one of the most famous example of this is the Blair Witch Project. But
for some of you people who might not be into those movies, there was a movie that I first saw on Netflix called Earth to Echo. Like, it was an alien movie. That was all found footage. And for a kid's movie, I thought it was surprisingly good. So maybe you guys have seen that, but I thought it's a perfect example. So, we had the location picked out.
Carson's grandma's house.
Shout out to grandmother's house. Now, that may not sound exciting, but, she's got a swimming pool up there. She's got a six-wheeler. She's got woods.
We kind of looked at this as like an 80s throwback film. Like, we wanted to make it...
you looked at it like an 80s throwback.
Carson,
I realized
I'm
the problem
a big like 80s throwback thing. So I always thought with found footage, I wanted to shoot it on a VHS camcorder, right? And I wanted it to look like real old home video. And so we wanted to do a psychological thriller. We wanted to do some horror in there.
Now, we didn't really have plot per se.
No, but we had ideas.
But we had the idea behind it was that
Like,
the title of the movie is like, I don't remember what it was.
It was
like 3:57 or something.
It was a time on a watch.
Like a time on a watch. Late into the night.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have something eerie and mysterious, a mystery lurking around this number.
No, we were never sure if it was something like supernatural. Was it aliens? Was it ghosts? We don't really.
We don't know. But with the found footage, we wanted to have like kind of the heads-up display.
We wanted to have
on the camera.
A big thing was the timestamp.
The timestamp.
I know some people out here shoot with film, like analog.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big thing these days. Shooting with film, you have that little stamp in the corner that tells you the date. These days, I mean, it's usually somewhere in the 90s, like 9/14/1992 or something. So, but the VHS camcorders, they always had a time stamp. Like, it would tell you, like, 3 p.m. or something like that. Yeah,
it'd show you, like, how long you've been recording and what time it was currently.
Yeah, so that was going to be a major theme of this film.
Yeah, the point is that we weren't going to resolve the mystery. We're going to leave it open-ended. Mm-hmm. And when the timestamp hit that time,
the movie was just no matter what was happening, the movie would end. Camera would drop, camera would break. The VHS would stop. There wasn't any there was no more recording time on it. It would just stop. So this was the idea. We have a group of kids, right, spending the night at the grandmother's house. I don't know. I mean,
it was like a pool party. It was set
something or other. I mean, we had ideas for a negligent babysitter that was like exercising and listening to a Walkman. You know, the classic 80s. Right, but at one point, also, one of these kids brings, again, VHS camcorder to the thing, because the movie is completely self-aware. Like, they know they're all being filmed. That's a thing. Like, the camera is physically in the movie. And so,
that's why I thought I wasn't really too hot on the whole 80s idea. I thought it'd be easier, because with an 80s thing, everything that's modern, you have to get out of the house, you have to shift around, you have to change fashion. Fletch now realizes the folly of this idea, but I thought it'd be cooler if this was all filmed kind of on an iPhone, so you could have multiple camera shots with different people on their phone.
Yeah.
Because phone cameras are such a presence today, like you can hardly go 30 seconds without filming people.
There have been some amazing films that have made it to very reputable film awards things that have been shot on iPhones. Some directors take the iPhone camera as a challenge, a welcome challenge, if that, to see how, like, I mean, I've always said, Carson has always said, it's not the equipment, it's the person behind it. It's the creativity behind the equipment.
And notice, he said iPhone. He did not say Samsung. We did not want this to look like a Minecraft parody.
Like, come on. If you're, let's be honest, there's only one true, like, good, like, amazing video phone, like, just phone on the market. I'm gonna say it's the iPhone. I'm an iPhone guy.
And
I'm
people
an
are always
Apple
like,
guy.
but they're overpriced.
But the screen always
people
breaks.
Still buy them.
Yeah, for good reason.
Like,
I mean,
for Xbox 360 and PS3. You know, PS3 had free online capabilities. You could do anything you want. Xbox 360 you had to pay for online capabilities. So then PS3 is like, haha, we're gonna win. But Xbox 360 blew them out of the water.
They outsold because
people are willing to pay more for better stuff.
People are willing to pay the premium. I mean, sure.
Now notice, PS4, now you have to pay for online services.
But
so they're wising up. PS4 is the Samsung.
PS4
consoles.
is no longer the Samsung. Xbox has become the Samsung.
You're right. PS4 is better.
Has become the Apple of the gaming industry.
The analogy went too far. I'm sorry.
And then,
forgive me.
And then there's poor Nintendo over there. The
Nintendo
Nokia.
Switch.
Yeah.
It's not as bad. It's just not as out there.
Yeah. I think it's more of like the thing you get your 9-year-old for Christmas. You know what I'm saying?
I would willingly play a Switch for hours. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. That's what I'm talking about.
Let's get back to our psychological thriller. So we were going to have some camera of some means one of the kids has in the movie, right? And so at one point, something weird happens in the woods, right? And so the group's like, hey, let's take the camera. Let's go investigate. Let's get out of the house and investigate.
Yeah, let's be bad boys.
And so it's all about, like, the movie encompasses their journey to find this thing. So out in the woods somewhere. I mean, there's going to be some kooky hijinks along the way.
Hijinks.
Well, I think more scary
Speaking
hijinks.
of kooky hijinks, you know what today is? I think it's today or yesterday. The 49th anniversary of Scooby-Doo, Where Are You?
Oh, what?
What a show!
Oh my gosh, Scooby-Doo is it's always been such a big part of my
Staple.
life. Hey, again, we were talking about Mr. Irway being a big influence on us creatively. We can't go. We can't say that without giving a shout out to such like Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo was a big part of my childhood, but
it's still a big
part of my
I still watch Scooby-Doo.
We still
okay?
watch, come on, we can still both easily sing the Scooby-Doo theme song. That's neither here nor there. We're not gonna showcase our musical talents on Taco
We'd
Talk.
prefer it if your ears didn't bleed.
At least not today. We'll leave that open to the viewers.
100 subs, we will sing the Scooby-Doo theme
1,000
song.
subs, we will sing it an hour straight. Yes.
Fletch, don't be promising things you can't keep.
But so we were gonna have these kids find this thing in the woods, right?
Uh-huh.
And I forget what our
I think it was gonna be like
a chest, a wooden chest, or
I think we were going
sort?
more like a jewelry box,
like
a small box.
But inside of this thing, now this was something that transported in time. Everything was it looked new, but it was straight out like the 20s or the 30s or the 40s or something. And it was gonna have some kind of papers in there, and along with that was a watch.
Yeah.
So they find this watch, and I think we had something some light coming out of whatever the jewelry box.
Oh yeah,
or crate.
I think
there was some
definitely
blinding light coming out of it, some beam that shot into the sky, and that's where we were thinking alien or time travel with this. But
we didn't really. It wasn't well thought out.
This was one of our projects. We had ideas, just never followed through. We've had so many ideas, but never followed through. And
No, I remember specifically the roadblock for this one. The roadblock was we wanted it to be a summer movie, and it was late September, kind of around this time, and it was getting colder. And we didn't think we'd be able to get all the actors involved, and we very ardently wanted this to be a summer movie, and winter was coming, so we're like, you know what, we'll table this for next summer.
Or fall.
And by then we didn't care about it. So
also a big thing when it comes to making movies, amateur movies, especially at this age. How do you find the actors? How do you find actors that are willing to put in the time, the effort, and not get paid for minimal pay? So that was always a big thing that hardship and strife when it came to our movies.
You can ask your friends, but you don't always know if they're not gonna share your artistic vision necessarily.
Exactly.
Because you're not
you're
not a professional director, and they're not professional actors.
Exactly.
That
was always one of my big fears. Is we have a really good friend that gets on and does it, but it turns out he or she is an awful actor, and it's not like we're gonna go up and say to this friend you're actually really bad.
Yeah,
we'd have to just.
We're not saying we have a friend like this. Okay,
no,
we're not
Jonathan Wetzel. No,
no.
But
it's just this could have happened.
Exactly.
So we didn't do it.
We never did casting auditions or anything, but it's just something that always plagued us when we wanted to make a movie.
One thing with me and Fletch. We know what the other can do.
Exactly.
Kinda.
We know our creative boundaries.
We're thinking about maybe some comedy sketches in the future.
Yeah.
For Taco Rock Productions.
Look out for some comedy sketches from Taco Rock Productions.
So, we can pull that off. One of us can be behind the camera. One of us can be acting because we talked about it and we kind of have the same vibe going on.
We're both picking up what we're laying. We both can smell what we're stepping in.
So, if you watch the Romeo and Juliet video, not that, but something like that.
Something along those lines. I'd say with Romeo and Juliet, I edited that in it took an hour, 2 hours to film, it took me 2 hours to edit. That was we just pumped it out. I imagine the skits we want to do will be much more professional. I'd like all of our stuff to be very professional, but just more time, more effort, more thought put into it.
Because
more time writing a script.
That was an English project that we didn't
had a
really
deadline.
have much
we
time
had a deadline for,
and we had to meet certain criteria.
Exactly.
So you
it
get rid of that.
To be Romeo
you
and
just
Juliet.
have us in our own heads, and I think we can make something great.
We'll surprise you.
But anyway, let's move off this movie. But I gotta say one more thing about it before we do.
I want to say one of my favorite parts was the ending. So I remember I envisioned this. So they get back to the house, right?
Yeah.
And they're doing stuff. There has to be a record player, cassette player, something like that. And
That's
like
just a going.
then there's like lights, the under the water pool lights, that was a given, had to be there. And then all the electronics start going haywire.
Yeah.
Light starts flashing, bulbs are bursting.
I remember this.
Music is going like super fast.
Yeah.
Some of it's
Oh,
going
no,
super
no.
slow.
Before you finish this, I gotta preface this with something. So we wanted to have a recurring thematic shot. So in the beginning, it's like a pool party, okay? And we wanted to have a shot where all the kids run and jump into the pool in their bathing suits. So then, when all this chaos is going down, they're like, we gotta duck. So we wanted them to recreate that shot
run into the pool
with the people in the same order with all their clothes on it and jump into the pool.
This was my idea.
And
so
we thought that was the most genius thing ever.
I still want to do this. I still want to incorporate this into a movie one day. This is one of my favorite scenes that we have ever come up with. So all this stuff is going haywire. Music is going out of the control. And so they're like, we gotta do something. We gotta get out of here. And I want metal stuff was like, levitating, like magnetically. So that's where I was thinking aliens. But so they run out into the pool, right? You have the camera sitting there, run out into the pool. They jump in, and then the time hits, the time on the clock, and then there's nobody in the pool, and all the things are back to normal, and then the movie ends. Like, you don't know what happened, and then you just end the movie right there. End the movie right there. Like, what happened? Huh? What? Who?
That's
where? Why? Which? I loved it. I still love it. I still want to do it.
Will it happen? Probably not. Could it happen? Probably
Definitely.
not. But is there a very, very small chance?
Yeah.
No, there's not. No, I'm kidding.
Look out for our psychological thriller from Taco Rock Productions.
357. I'm calling it now. Wait a minute. That might already be similar to something. Isn't there like a something?
Dude, I'm sure there's a bunch of movies.
I'm pretty sure
that
there's kind of like a thriller movie with 357 in it.
So, next, my next favorite movie.
If you've listened to us for about 5 minutes,
On
you
the
know
first
that we
podcast.
like movies, okay? So, we're like, okay, we've tried making movies, didn't quite pan out. But you know what we could do?
We could
review
movies.
could critique movies, exactly.
So this leads us back again to Mr. Irway. Again,
what a guy.
The catalyst of our creativity, right? So we thought during our enrichment period, our study hall free time, why don't we go down? He has a VHS player. He has a big TV. Why don't we just watch VHS tapes and then critique the movies? So he happened to have one VHS tape in his desk. There was one VHS tape.
My word.
I had already watched the movie.
The
other guys were a little weary, okay? And I was like, listen to me. You gotta watch it. So let's say in unison here. 1, 2, 3. Young Frankenstein. If you have not watched Young Frankenstein, give it a chance.
Not Mel Gibson.
Mel Brooks.
Mel Brooks.
Mel Gibson.
My bad.
No, we are not going Braveheart here.
Interesting enough, Mel Brooks, director, is the father of Max Brooks, author
of World War Z. Yeah.
Didn't know that
little
until
interesting fact.
Like a couple months ago. It was interesting.
But so this movie is a spoof of the classic Frankenstein story. So you have Victor Frankenstein. Frankenstein. So he is the grandson of the late Victor von Frankenstein, right?
Oh.
And shout out to Mr. Falk. So his grandfather dies, right? And so he has to go to Germany. To get his stuff, right? And so he arrives at the castle, and then he finds his grandfather's laboratory,
and then becomes obsessed.
He finds his grandfather's notes, and then he says, "It can be done. We can create
he wants to
life."
Recreate. So, along the way, he meets. Igor.
Not Igor.
The hunchback.
Igor.
Who is my favorite part of the movie. He's funny.
He's hilarious.
He's a funny guy.
And I mean, I'm not sure how to describe it really. It's just something you gotta watch.
And there's also, what's her name?
The
Inga. Love interest.
Inga, yes. Who has quite the knockers. And by that, I mean the door, by the way.
Yeah. So they walk up to the castle.
One of the classic lines.
So there are huge like knockers on the door, like the things that you pull back and knock on the door.
Victor's there helping her out of a carriage, right? And he says, "Ooh, what knockers?" And she's
referring to the door.
And she's like, "Oh, thank you, doctor." And he's like, "Oh, Yes, and sets her down quickly. But it's just hilarious. I love it.
Hilarious movie. I recommend it to all of you.
Highly.
Now,
But,
it is an older movie, so it's not quite
everybody's
appropriate.
That's not it. I just don't think it's everybody's cup of tea. I don't
Yeah.
think anybody who's watching
Yeah.
this podcast needs something to be super appropriate.
Yeah, we were definitely. It was definitely not school appropriate.
Oh,
and we
not
were
at all.
watching this
That
during
movie-
school hours.
That movie is 0% school appropriate. And
Yeah, but he still let us watch it, Mr.
But
Irway.
I mean, this is not to put him in any hot water. He had never watched the movie.
Yeah,
And every single
and
part,
I had never watched the movie, so Fletch was really just bamboozling
I
us.
had watched the movie, so I knew when something was about to get a little kooky. So I just turned the volume down a little bit. We always shut the doors. I'm sorry, Mr. Irway. Shout out again. We love you. But truth be told, I mean, it wasn't. It is still rated G. I will say that.
It is
a rated G movie. So therefore, no, I'm going to say it. Completely school appropriate. Completely school appropriate.
It wasn't as bad as I made it out to seem.
Yeah, but
Here's my dramatic flight.
so we thought it would be great to review these movies. So this was the only one we did. I was the only one who actually wrote a review. I remember that. But so in the end, nothing really came out of it review-wise. But you know what did come out of it? It just so happened that Mansfield University was playing it in theatrical form, in
a live show,
a live showing,
and we were like, "What are the chances?"
Exactly.
You know?
So we got my dad. Shout out to Jason Fletcher.
We got the gang together.
Jonathan Wetzel, Simone Massinio,
Speedy Simone,
Carson Kennedy, and yours truly. We hopped in that gray 2003 Toyota Matrix.
You already know.
And hightailed it to Mansfield University.
Okay,
and
we're
watched
not talking about the seating argument.
No. We had a bit of
We're
a seat.
still a bit sore about that. We basically argued about what seats were best.
It's always the middle. No, you don't get the back. I mean, unless, of course, you're at the Arcadia Theater and the handicap seats are open. You better grab those handicaps.
In the big theater right up front, the back middle, they're handicap seats, but more often than not, there's nobody sitting up there. So if you get there first,
you get the handicap.
One's gonna kick you off.
Get the handicap seat. So, yeah, we watched it. We loved it. It was amazing. To everyone who was in that performance, you did good.
Very well done.
But just again, shout out to Young Frankenstein.
I loved the addition of the music to it. It was a musical.
Yeah, it was
not
a musical.
Just a drama.
And
so
now,
it was great.
After we tried our hand at writing reviews, it didn't work out so well. We're like, okay, that didn't work out great. Why don't we try our hand at making another movie?
No. After Young Frankenstein, we did try to review another movie. And that was Lawrence of Arabia. If you've never seen it, that movie's like 3.5 hours long.
But it's amazing.
It is good, but I got so bored. And it was during school hours, so we had to split this up over multiple days.
Listen,
I got bored, couldn't write it.
Carson Kennedy, he didn't like it. But Jonathan Wetzel, he's borderline nihilist, doesn't care about anything. He doesn't like old movies. He likes nothing like that. This is one of his favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
Okay?
He is slated to be on the podcast one of these days. You
Yeah.
will hear from this man.
BoJack Horseman episode. Shout out to BoJack Horseman.
BoJack Horseman.
The 5th season is dropping today. If you have not watched BoJack Horseman, go watch BoJack
By
Horseman.
the time you guys are listening to this, it'll already have been out for the weekend.
Yeah, well,
But
no,
still.
I plan to get this out on Sunday. Hey, to all you guys listening on Sunday, good for you. But
Legends.
Yeah, you guys are the real here, doing God's
You
work.
are doing God's work.
God's amen. Can I get an amen from the congregation? Amen. But
Fletch, you said that. That wasn't the congregation.
okay, you can go, Carson. Say amen.
If you guys didn't just say amen, to your laptop screens, to your phone screens,
who are you? Come on, if you are not in the middle of geometry, listening to it, and I say,
and you just stand up, you throw a fist in the air,
bet
you
that
say amen.
you are a real taco. You're a real gringo. You know that? Stand
that
up,
is not our official fan army
proclaim
name.
it proud. I am a gringo.
That's not the name. Don't call yourselves that.
So,
I did not agree to that.
You did not. We'll come up with a taco talk.
Better one.
Yeah, a better than gringo. I don't think so, gringo. But so next, this is something we touched on in the first 5 minutes of the other podcast. This is my movie. The other one was Carson's movie idea. This is my movie idea. We got a little farther with this one. This is my passion project. This is the attack of the killer pumpkin lawn bags. Okay, so let me set the scene. So around Halloween, you got all these leaves in your yard.
In your lard?
My lard. In your yard. And you need a place to put your leaves. Where do you put them?
Of course.
You got to put them in a bag. But not just any bag. I mean, it's Halloween.
It's Halloween. You gotta.
Get with the spirit. You get a pumpkin lawn bag there. These lawn bags shaped like a pumpkin with a little
Fletch, he thought to
jack-o'-lantern
himself,
face on it.
How can we kick the spooky up to 11?
Like, come on. Pumpkin lawn bags, do the companies want them to seem scary?
Kick the spooky up to 11. So what did you do, Fletch?
I made them aliens who eat people.
Kids. The first shot was like a little kid getting eaten.
Yeah, little kids.
First scene.
So the first scene,
bat.
right off the bat, so I remember I had a lot of ideas for the first scene. One of them, we were gonna go Thing 1982 style. Opening scene was going to be a pumpkin shaped flying saucer, right? Crash landing on Earth. That was one, and then another. You're going through the title sequence, and it's showing these newspaper clippings of all these grisly deaths happening, and then in the background of every picture, there's a pumpkin bag. So I loved it. I was so
very
into this.
passionate about this.
So long story short, so there's again this is a major theme of every single movie idea we've had. We like the idea, we love the Goonies. We love stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we like the idea of
Goonies, favorite movie.
Of a group of kids, right, battling the forces of evil, something along that line. Some plot that involves a group of the protagonist little kids. So in this case, right, a kid was having a sleepover.
Oh, you already know.
Most
of our movies involved sleepovers.
Yes, that's a reoccurring theme of our films. So in this case, they were watching The Thing, and if you haven't watched John Carpenter's 1982 The Thing, it's amazing. The best practical effects you ever will see, son. Let's give shout out to John Carpenter, the man.
Fletch is a big practical effects guy.
Yeah, I love it.
And I think part of that is due to you don't have money for CG. That's why you wanted to do everything. I'm pretty sure in every project we've ever worked on, he has suggested fake blood.
Yes,
every single one.
It could be a romance. It could be a comedy. I want to see some fake
blood. For that
blood
Romeo and Juliet video, he wanted fake blood. No, he dashed into his kitchen. Looking for ketchup. I was like, Fletch, literally no.
We were gonna have someone spitting out ketchup.
Then we thought, maybe not,
because this is a school project. Maybe not. I regret it. We should have done it, but that's neither here nor there.
So we'll fix it in post.
So we BoJack Horseman. That's a reference. You should watch it. You'll get it. So so it's these kids battling out against the forces of the killer pumpkin lawn bags.
Exactly.
So the first scene, I thought, right, so you have these lawn bags, and they're always filled with leaves. So I want, at one point, one of the kids goes missing. And so they fight this lawn bag, and then they cut it open. And what's inside? A bunch of leaves, a bunch of fish guts. We were gonna go all out for this. Practical effects up the wazoo. And so So this kid spills out. We were gonna have it be Grady Baker. I'm sure he'd still be up for this role if we asked him.
I mean, I'm down.
Covered in fake blood and stuff.
And pumpkin guts.
Pumpkin guts and pumpkin seeds. A lot of pumpkin seeds. And so just spills out all this red, all this goo.
You get the shot, and then you roast the seeds and eat them. Am I right?
Exactly.
Am I right?
The seeds covered in fake blood. So, and it was gonna spill. It was gonna be beautiful. Another scene I wanted to do. So the pumpkin lawn bag's approaching. At one point, gasoline gets spilled somewhere, and the one kid, he's one of those pyrotechnic kids. He's a fire freak.
He's one of the edgy kids.
So what does he have in his pocket? He has those little poppets. You can get it parades and stuff. So he takes it out and he's like, "Take these, you expletive." Throws it on the ground. The gasoline just erupts in flame, consuming the killer lawn bag. The plastic's glopping everywhere. The leaves are on fire, and you can smell the beautiful aroma of pumpkin pie in the air. It was gonna be beautiful.
So that kind of closes the chapter on the cinema portion. We have one more thing we'd like to hit on.
One more.
We're not just cinemaniacs, okay?
We also, I mean,
we are into books, too.
I've always been a big reader. I know that's a little controversial in this day and age.
Oh,
you don't want those kids reading. They can learn stuff, Carson.
They can learn stuff.
That's dangerous.
They can learn new words.
you just want like perfect kids just sit in a chair and eat. That's my perfect child.
Exactly.
But no,
Says the people who have like 6 chicken wings sitting in the cabinet behind us.
We have some celebratory chicken wings that we illegally stole from. Again, shout out to Landon Kennedy. What a guy! Letting us use his room.
I gotta say, he's my brother. I love him.
He's my brother from another mother.
He has been so generous in allowing us to use his space.
Exactly.
Even when he's living in it.
Exactly.
Like He
is currently home from college, and
his possessions are in this room.
We put him out to film.
And we came in, we rearranged all his furniture.
His blankets on the door, making it so the sound
cords are everywhere, tapes everywhere.
We moved his table. It's a mess. But then again, it's... Thanks for tuning in to the latest installment of Taco Talk.
Can't wait to see you in the next video.
It's been a pleasure to talk taco with you taco-loving people.
If you want to watch the previous video, check the link in the description or the box on your screen. Catch you later.
Y hasta luego. That was good, right?
Yeah.
I forgot to turn it off.